learn something different. Now, I have the pleasure, at least once a month, we do these webinars to talk about different things what salespeople around the United States are doing to sell big numbers. And these are all the people I personally had the pleasure to work with. And today we have Lori and David. And I met David in 1991. And I tell you what a thrill, an honor, and a privilege to meet people like that just super take off. And Dave's going to share with you some of the techniques, what he does, how he was so successful. And, one time, when you're selling 40 cars a month, that gets people's attention. It really doesn't matter what state you're in or what product you're selling. Now, I took a couple of notes here, and we're going to go over some of these topics. So this down the road, like one of David's favorite thing is switching people to cars. In other words, if somebody comes in and doesn't have a particular vehicle, David's going to share what he does, how to sell. And, Lori, I was talking to her the other day, her favorite thing is, having a routine, what you do every single day and come to work. So these are just a couple things, but it doesn't do any good to have a desire if you don't know the answer. So today you're going to get the answers from some people who are selling a whole lot of cars. And I'll start off with you, David. When I met you, you were hanging around doing this stuff. So I want to ask you right off the bat, what did you do to change? I know some of the months you sold 40-plus cars a month, but what does a person have to do to become Salesman of the Year 23 straight years in a row?
Well, I definitely follow the steps of the sale. In other words, a lot of times you'll get distracted and don't do your steps of the sale. I have to regroup and go back and make sure that I'm not missing anything because I feel like I owe it to the customer, and nobody else will take the time to do that at some other dealerships. Also, I like to make sure that I ask plenty of questions, build a bunch of rapport, so the customer feels very comfortable with me, and it's like a one-on-one relationship. It's like me talking to my brother or something. They get to relate to you better, and you can get, when the more questions you ask, the more you find out what this old boy is looking for and what his needs are.
Now, do you do that? Do you ask a lot of questions? Or first of all, do you do a demo every time?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If you don't do a demo, you don't know, the guy doesn't know nothing about the car. Again, you can build a rapport while you're on a demo, and you sit back and be quiet and let him feel the car and everything, and then you can ask some subtle, like what I call yes questions. How's this feel? How's the seat feel? How's the view? How do you like the acceleration? And just get a bunch of kind of yes questions out of them that eventually down the road helps you close the sale.
I love it. So you're getting everybody to say yes, they love the car, and then go from there.
Right.
Now, Lori made a good comment the other day, and I wanted to share this with the people here. Now, you have a relationship built up with the customers. Now, she tells them that she's your wife, and she said they still wait for you. They don't want to do business with anybody but you. How does a salesperson build that kind of relationship that don't matter what the dealership wants, the customer's not going to deal with anybody but you? So what are you doing there, Dave?
Well, I've developed a lot of trust with my customers. They know if they need something, I'm here for them. In other words, of course, being here on a long tenure at the one dealership, they can rely on me for all their answers. I tell them, I say, once, just after I sell a car, I still want to know what's going on. I still want to be, your car expert. Any things that go wrong with the car afterwards, don't feel afraid to ask me, because I'm here for you. I'm not just here for the quick sale. I'm here for repeat business and helping your friends and relatives and whatever for another happy car sale.
So you're not afraid to tell them that you want to be their car guy forever.
Right.
Okay. Now, how do you doing that? Now, you're real big into the birthday stuff. I try and get guys into that, and you want to share on that a little bit about how you stay in contact?
I've had a birthday file over the years and years. Of course, now we got it all on computer. used to have like the recipe box birthday thing, but now it's all on computer, so it's nice. I come in, push a button, it says what I got to do each day, which helps me in my organization. But the personal phone call, they really like that, because I've had a lot of people say, well, gee, Dave, you're the only guy that's ever called me on my birthday. Even my uncle hasn't called me, or my brother. So they like that, and it's a personal touch. And I don't get into any sales. I just say, hey, I appreciate your business. I appreciate you buying a car from me. Any more problems or anything down the road, please let me know. So, I mean, a lot of times, sometimes, I'm not perfect. I'll forget, and the gal call me back and say, gee, Dave, I missed your birthday call. I got your birthday card, but I missed your birthday call. So they like that birthday call.
So you actually give them that personal attention.
Right.
And I think that's what sets you apart. It's so easy to do, but it's easy to forget sometimes. Lori, you made a comment the other day. I said, hey, what keeps you going? And you said, hey, once you get the momentum going, you can't stop. And
I can't. I get a little momentum, and I gotta go. I just do it.
Well, once you sell the one car a day, then you're all fired up and confident, and you want to get back in there into the mix of things and try and sell another one. It just one car sale leads to the being fired up for the second one.
Well, Lori made a good comment because she doesn't have any downtime. Now, what do you tell for the new salespeople or the people who are trying to do big numbers and they have plenty of downtime? What do you guys do that, like you said, Lori, you don't have downtime because you work? What do you do so you don't have downtime?
Well, I just make good use of my time. I'm always doing something for my business, because this is what it is. It's your own business that you got to take to the next level. So you want to keep staying busy and busy and busy. You never just sit there. But I see a lot of salespeople do that.
Well, and obviously that hurts. We talked a little bit about the other day about, you said some of the things that keeps you excited. You said about paying yourself first.
Exactly. You got to pay yourself first. I mean, that keeps your business going. You buy your prospect tools. You get those out working for you. And, while you're sleeping, you're still selling. It's awesome.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Some of the people, when they first start out, they don't have a lot as far as prospecting tools, but you bought a little here, bought a little there, and the same way with you, Dave. I mean, you got all kind of stuff working for you, but, I love what Lori says. Once you get those, you pay yourself first every time you get paid, and then you buy prospecting tools, and it just keeps adding because your name is seen millions of times a year. The other thing, what caught my attention the other day when talking to you, Lori, you said if you get the managers that make you feel good, it makes you want to work. Can you explain that?
Well, when you get a manager that really has an interest in you and you go in there with your deals and he asks you about a deal or he stays on top of the deals, it just gets you motivated to do more and more and more and more because he's there to help you if you need help. It just pays off if you have a good manager.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's where that bond of trust comes from. Now, I don't think they have to ask you guys, being the professionals that you are, if you did a demo or a service walk or anything like that. You guys, you know what to do, and you do that every time. What advice you have for somebody that goes on like I work in a lot of dealerships, they go on a 3, 4, 5 mile demo. You think they're missing a boat by spinning the people around the block or actually taking the time to do the steps of the sale?
They're missing the boat bad. You need to take them on a 15-mile demo. The longer you take them, the more committed and more they're going to like that car. So you want to take them further than just around the block.
Dave, what do you say about that?
Well, I have like a certain little route I take. And like I say, when I'm with them on the demo drive, you kind of want to you don't want to be bugging them all the time. You want to let them experience the car and let them feel the car and everything. And like I say, I do subtle little questions like, well, we hit a bump. How do you feel? How's the suspension on it? Like that. Get them not saying, badgering them, just ask them, what do you like about the car? And try to get some yeses out of them, because like I say, the longer you stay in the car, the more kind of feel like they're taking mental ownership of the vehicle.
Well, I work with people, and they say they think that's high pressure. You know, when the salesperson goes in the car, that they feel it's better to hand them the keys to go on a demo drive, so they can enjoy the car without a salesman pressuring them. So you don't think that holds any water. You think it's much better just to make sure you get out there and do the stuff. And you know, when you're selling a $30,000-$40,000 car or truck or more, I mean, you can't go 5 miles and think it's okay.
True, because when you're with them, it lets the customer know that you're kind of responsible for the car. You want to make sure they understand the vehicle. You actually take pride in the vehicle you're selling because you're with them and wanting to let them know that how they feel on the vehicle. It gives them a sense of like you're trying to earn their business, not just saying, here, see you later, guy, here's the keys, goodbye. You're with them to help them if they don't understand anything or anything about the vehicle. Of course, that goes along with the presentation. But a lot of people don't feel comfortable by themselves in a strange car. They want some kind of insurance and assistance.
Well, you know, you're sort of like world famous because you're noted for if someone comes in on a particular car, you show everybody, or you show them every car in the lot, and you're famous for switching people. Can you relate to that? Because I go to a lot of dealerships all the time, and they say, well, he only wanted one particular vehicle, and we don't have it, and they let him go. Can you share on them just what you do? I mean, anybody, when you start selling, 40 cars a month and you don't have what they want, you're famous for switching them. Can you share with us why and how you switch somebody to another car or truck?
Well, a lot of times, if this ain't the right color. Well, what other than the color, what is important to you? Or they say, well, I try and find out what you call their hot button. If they're just, say, oh, I want a sports car. Well, they say, oh, I want a Mustang. Well, we don't have a Mustang on the lot. But this car here ranks just as good as a Mustang. The performance is just as good. If you find the guy's hot button, if it's like performance, horsepower, all that kind of stuff, you kind of zero in on several other cars that have that feature. And then you start showing him that, and the first thing you know, the guy said, and then I said, I can probably get, everything you need on this car, even though it's not the right color. You get him telling you what's the most important thing, other than just certain factors that he wants in a car, like color or that. A lot of times he'll say, hey, this car here has a performance. You give him some statistics on the vehicle of what it does, some kind of performance features that this car has. And the next thing you know, he says, well, okay, I've heard about these cars. Let's just go for driving this one. So you make sure that it's just not one certain thing he's looking for. What is the big features he wants? And he's hot button on what kind of car he's wanting.
See, that's the thing is, that's where what Lori was saying. You have more patience than anybody. So if somebody's looking for something, you're going to show them everything on your lot and keep talking until you, like you said, find their hot button rather than just say, hey, we don't have this particular color and send them down the road. You stick with them. I think that's the message you're trying to say, correct?
Right.
All right. Lori, we don't have anywhere near amount of women in the car business as we should, but I think it's awesome that last 3 years in a row you're number one, and I think you told me the other day with all the dealerships you have about 100 salespeople there. So what advice do you have for women that's starting? It's not just for women, but we're going to concentrate on this particular one. What advice do you have to women to start out, what they should do, in this so-called man's world? Because I don't believe that. There's plenty of women out there, like Tiffany sells 40 cars a month. What advice do you have them to start out? What should they concentrate on in the beginning when they're starting out?
Well, they should concentrate on goal setting and prospecting and product knowledge and doing the six steps to the sale and follow-up and the phone. If they can master those 6 things, they'll be great salespeople. It's easier now for women in the car business than when I started 26 years ago, there was hardly any women doing it. And it was a man's world, and it still is, but there's a lot more women doing it now than ever.
Yeah, can you touch on that goal-setting stuff? Because you were telling me some fascinating things the other day. Can you share with them what you're talking about, other than how many cars you're going to sell a month? You went into it a little bit.
Well, Fran, if you can remember, back in the 90s, you came to our dealership, and I sit through your training on goal setting, and I had never set goals before. And I started doing it after you left, and I tell you, I have been hitting them and hitting them and hitting them ever since. And I will not ever go without doing a goal setting, because it keeps you on track. It keeps your mind set on what you want. And it's easier to obtain if you have it wrote down.
I see. And that's where the pay yourself first comes in, because, the goal settings that I think you're talking about the first page or first article in our book, Selling from the Heart, because as you see yourself reaching those goals, the little ones get them out of the way real quick. But you come to work with a mission of, what are you going to do? And when you get paid, you put in those different goals, and it seems like life gets better and better and better. And you also mentioned the prospecting tools. Is it imperative or important for a salesperson to go spend his... The hardest thing I have as a trainer is to convince somebody it's your business. You got to go spend some money on it. Can you touch on that, you guys, about some of the money you spent over the years and the results you got from it?
I've gotten a lot of results. I do keychains, pins. I had a lady pull one of my keychains out of the drawer. I had sold her a car 8 years before, and called me and said she wanted to buy another car. And she told me, I pulled your keychain out of my drawer, and I said, yeah, there's my lady that I bought a car from, and she called me and she bought another car from me. So, they put those things around. They don't throw them away. And when they find them, they go, oh, there's that lady I bought that car from. They'll see your name. They figure out that you're the one that sold them before. When you give them stuff to take home.
Dave, what do you say about that?
Well, this is, all the salespeople need to look at this as running your own little business. You got to advertise all this kind of stuff. So, it builds confidence once that you set, say you have a good month, you set aside, say you get a bonus check, you set it aside and go buy some stickers, pans, and stuff like that. And then you see the fruits of your labor afterwards. Somebody comes in and says, oh, I got your pan, and I got it off my neighbor, and I put these car stickers, my little, sold by David McArthur on the rocker panel. One time, this guy buys a car that has my sticker on from another salesman at another dealership that we traded the car in. He sees my name on the rocker panel and calls and says, hey, my neighbor's got this car, but it has your sticker on it. Are you still a salesman? I said, heck yeah. So long story short, the car that the guy bought from another dealership had my sticker on it. They never took off. I generated a sale from that. So you never know what's going to happen when you're prospecting stuff. So the more, when you go to a restaurant or something, you hand out some cards, or you all constantly ask, hey, who do you know looking for a used car or something? You just keep saying, and you can get lax on it, or you get forgetful. But you sit down and have your daily organization plan, your calls, and then your prospecting when you're going to do. I go take plates to customers at lunchtime. Oh, I'm near this guy that bought a car. Take the plates over. When I say, I'll put your plates on for you. And then while I'm there, they say, oh, you bought a car for Dave McCarthy. And I give these guys a couple of cards that are in the lobby or stuff, and that's generated sales. So you just constantly never know what's going to happen. So this prospecting deal is big for me. I mean, we put cards on our cars on Sunday out there, just stick them on the side of the car, and people call us. So it's just like I say, you're your own boss. You got your own desk. You got all your own equipment. The dealership provides all the materials for you. You just get out there and run your own little business. So, I mean, I can't say enough how prospecting will get you sales.
Well,
I'm probably rambling on too much, but
no. You know what you said that I love? When you put think about it. You guys are very, very successful, and you put your business cards on the window Saturday night when everybody leaves, and it generates traffic. You know, sometimes these new people don't realize that little half hour or 45 minutes it takes to put them on and take them off, that generates sales. I know some dealerships are open on Sunday, but do you get response back when you do that on a Saturday night, knowing that everybody's going home to their family, and here you two are the most successful people in the dealership, and you're taking that extra half hour to go generate traffic? If someone does that, would that guarantee them to make more money?
Certainly.
Lori, have you gotten response from that?
Yeah, just sell one extra sale a week on that. I mean, it's easy money.
Well, see, that's the point we're talking about. You know, some of this stuff isn't that hard if you go do it. The hardest thing is, what's so nice about you people is, you know, you're doing it. You're sticking with the goal setting. You pay yourself first. You get the prospecting tools, and it's like making money on top of money. But, you know, the new people in the car business, or maybe somebody that's, you know, doing 15, 20 cars a month, don't misunderstand me, that's really good. But I promise you, you know, they would step it up another couple sales a month at least, per month, easy, if they had the prospecting tools, if they learned how to switch customers, okay, and have the patience, like you said, to take the time to show everybody every car or truck you have on the lot. You know, and then if you have the luxury to get a customer, don't take it for granted. Go out and do the steps of the sales the best you can, 100% every time, and that's going to generate you more sales, because I think you guys are outperforming everybody else. So it's 20 minutes after. So
and I would say a lot of the new people, if they would get your training video and your workbook, that would help them, because I've had mine for 20 years and it's made me some money.
I appreciate that. Brian, now we're going to go, we have people calling in for questions, so they can either ask Dave, Lori, or myself. And so, Brian, if it's okay, can we answer a couple of questions of the people calling in?
Yeah. This question is from Sally. Sally wants to know, what did Fran do to change your car selling career? I guess that would be directed towards both of you guys.
Well, this is David McArthur. When we first started with Fran, he told us how to start investing in ourselves. Look, you know, make this your future, like your own little business. You want to make this your future, what you want to do. So as you invest in yourself, you put aside each time a little money set aside, and it builds you your prospecting tools. Then that gives you confidence when people come in, and so confidence is a big thing. It helps your attitude, because attitude is big in car selling. So when you get your good attitude going and confidence, then you rely on the steps of the sale, which is another building block towards success. And then you just get, you know, it just keeps coming. You stick to it. You got an organization day. You come in with your day organized. Fran's told us how to, you know, do your certain time to do your calls, certain time. A lot of times you get sidetracked if you got a sale or something. You set it aside, then you regroup and go back to your organization during the day. If you can be structured, structure yourself, that ends up building confidence and gives you good attitude. And when you get a good attitude, you can really sell cars.
The thing I think that Fran helped me with was to set your financial goals, to get your 11 envelopes and the things that you're wanting to do, some of your goals in life, your prospecting, vacations, your family, always have an emergency fund, retirement, investments. I have a kid in college right now, so that's that thing. You need to have all that situated where you're paying yourself. You don't want to sit there and work forever and not have anything to show for it. You want to put your money back and save it.
All right. This question is for Lori. This is from Steve. Lori, how do you keep motivated?
Well, David motivates me. He's my number one motivator. And just life in general motivates me. My customers do, everything. Life in general will help you get motivated. And also training. Always be training yourself on something because that will motivate you to do better at everything you're doing.
Actually, I have a question for you, Lori. You sent me this picture of this beautiful classic car. Is that you driving and Dave riding?
That is David and his daughter. At Christmas time, she came to see us, and she had not seen the car yet. That's David's baby, and I took a picture of him in it. 58 Impala.
Yeah, this is David talking. Yeah, that car, yeah, I mean, that's something, again, that I put money aside for, you know, when your goal setting and stuff. That's a car that was, when I was older or when younger, was my high school Harry car, so I decided to go back in time and get my old high school Harry car back because that was our family car when I was a kid. But anyway, yeah, that's just something that, you know, you set aside your fruits of your labor to try and, you know, some people go back. It's my hobby car, so I don't know if I'm answering your question or not.
Yeah.
But that's something that was generated from my hard work selling and years of goal setting, and you guys, as whoever's selling cars, that you need. You know, some guys want to buy a boat, some guys want to buy. I've been an old classic car guy for a while. I'm an old antique record collector guy and all this kind of stuff, and old antique fishing tags like that. But anyway, that's just my goals, achieving some of my goals.
Great. Actually, you know, that's a good segue. David, I've got a picture of you up on the screen right now. Looks like you're somewhere tropical holding a stringer just full of fish. Where were you?
Me.
Oh, that's you?
That's me holding all that fish.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a fishing trip in Florida that I went on.
Oh, it's not a very clear picture.
Yeah,
I'm
saving right now to go on another trip. We're going to do a day trip in Florida, day fishing.
Nice. What kind of fish were you getting?
Those redfish, mostly. We caught everything, all kinds of fish.
I think the point behind that is when you guys save and stuff, you deserve to go on a couple of vacations a year. A lot of people selling cars don't think they can. You know, if you stick to the stuff you guys are doing and do it in abundance, there's no reason you can't go anywhere in the world to do whatever you want, whatever vacation. You know, a lot of people don't understand. A couple $1,000 to go on vacations, honest, that's chicken feed to somebody who's doing the right steps of the sales or get into prospecting and you pay yourself first. A lot of people in the car business don't understand it's easy to make $10,000 a month, and I don't care where you're at. You know, like you said, if you get the prospecting going, don't shortcut the steps of the sale, you know, and then pay yourself first. Let the prospecting tools do the work for you. So I think you deserve to go on those vacations. And what's nice about it is you can do more than one a year too. And I think that's a lot of salespeople don't understand that. When you start doing 25, 35 cars a month, you know, you owe it to yourself to get away because of the fruits of your labor. And that's what I think you guys are saying. You know, you step to the plate, you know, go buy some prospecting tools and do the little extra work. I mean, no wonder you guys are number one. I mean, gee whiz, people quit at, say, 5 o'clock on Saturday. You guys are smart enough and go do the little extra work to go work an extra half hour to put your business cards on there. And if you do that every year, to be honest with you, that pays for your vacation. So the answers are outstanding. I just hope some of the people here understand just how easy it is to make money.
I've got a question here from John Bailey, Fran, and I want to get it in because it's actually a really good one. It says, Lori, what does your day look like? And then it's ... how many phone calls? How many letters? How many customers and appointments? Would you mind sharing with us what your normal day looks like?
My normal day, I normally have at least 3 appointments. I will make at least 40 phone calls, and I do at least 30 mail outs a day.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, everybody, we are coming to 3:30. And so this is Brian Ankney again. I want to thank you all for taking the time to speak with us today. I really appreciate Lori and David taking the time out of their day to share with us today. And just keep your eye on 30 Sales a Month, and we will be announcing more and more webinars with more and more absolutely fantastic salespeople from around the country. Also, feel free to message me or Fran about any of our promotional products or our websites. We are actively trying to bring all the tools necessary for you to succeed to 30 Sales a Month. Thank you, guys.
All right, this is Fran here. I'd like to thank all of you for joining in. And look, make sure you do something out of this webinar. If you heard something that Dave and Lori said that you're not doing, write it down, because you just listened to some of the two most powerful people in the United States. Not many people have sold 10,000 cars in their career. Okay, the other thing, the 30 Sales a Month, and that's in our Facebook group. So go to the top and do 30 Sales a Month. And you know, without trying to push too much, I appreciate Lori when she said about our books and videos. You can get those on www.frantaylor.net. And by all means, if you have any questions or you want to do something later on as we have more webinars or you have more questions, please feel free to contact us, and we'll make sure we try and answer your questions. So once again, everybody, I thank you. I'd like to thank Lori and Dave and Brian for putting this. I'm Fran Taylor. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Fran. You're fantastic. Still there?